Happy day, dear children. Welcome to 6th standard English class. Hope you are all good. Children, today we are going to learn about new lesson number 15, The Mysterious Visitor. It's a wonderful lesson. Now we move to the lesson, page number 86. The Mysterious Visitor 1. This is an extract from H.G. Wells' novel, H.G. Herbert George Wells, The Invisible Man. It is the story of scientists who discover the secret of invisibility and use it on himself. However, he is unable to receive the process. To look like a normal person, he moves around with a bandaged face and wear a heavy coat and gloves. His secret is discovered after an argument with his landlady, leading to a lot of excitement in the town where he is staying. The visitor had returned to his room in the coach and horses at about 5 in the morning. He stayed there with the curtains and door closed. No one wanted to be near him. He wanted food, but no one answered the angry man's shouts. It was a special day in the town when people put up little shop in the road to sell food and lollies, that means sweets. Men and women were dressed in their best clothes. Children were playing and people were all happy. Some of the young men joined the little group of people at the inn, and where everyone was talking about the robbery at the wicket, that means priest, house, and putting two and two together. Mr. Hall, the pub owner, and Sandy Wiggers, the blacksmith, left to ask Mr. Shackleford from the courthouse what they should do. The people at the pub in the inn were afraid to go into the man's room, and they did not know what he was doing, but they could hear him as he walked backward and forward, shouting at God and breaking bottles. Inside the dark room, the angry man looked through the curtain and shouted at the young man he could see. They were pointing at him room and talking to each other with enthusiasm. He shouted again because no one could bring him food, and because he was feeling hot in his heavy clothes. There were many broken bottles in the corner of the room. At about 12, he opened his door and shouted for Mrs. Hall. Some people in the drinking room started looking for her. After a short while, she came with the paper saying how much he needed to pay. "You want to pay me before you leave, do you?" he said. "What is the reason that you did not bring me food? Do you think I can live without eating?" he shouted. "What is the reason that you have not been giving me my money?" asked Mrs. Hall. "That is what I want to know. You cannot be angry that your food is late when you are 5 days late in paying me." The visitor shouted at God again. "And I want you to keep your shouting and your talking to God to yourself." The visitor became more angry. The people in the drinking room who were looking on encouraged Mrs. Hall, who was winning the argument. "Look here, my good woman," he said. "Do not good woman me. That means try to please me by calling me a good woman," she said. "My money has not come, but I have some in my packet," he said, as he put his hand in his pocket to get some money. When you were first late with the money, you said all you had were a few coins. I was able to find some more, he answered. And where did you find it? Asked Mrs. Hall. This made the visitor very angry. What are you trying to say? He shouted, bringing him foot down with much force. I want to know where you were getting that money. Before I get you any food or do anything for you, you must tell me one or two things. I do not want. We all want to have some answer. I want to know what you were doing to my chair. I want to know how your room was empty and how you were able to get in again. And I want to know. The visitor lifted his hand in anger and shouted, Stop! With a force that was enough to quietly stop Mrs. Hall from talking. You do not understand who I am or what I am. I will show you. By God, I will show you. He put his hand over his face and put something away. The middle of his face was a black hole. He stepped forward and put something in Mrs. Hall's hand. She looked into the dark hole of his face and then at her hand and dropped the thing to the floor. The nose. It was the man's big nose. People in the drinking room cried out in surprise as the visitor left his glasses. Then he took off his hat. Fear filled the room as he put at his false hair and bandage. The truth was becoming too much to take. Mrs. Hall cried out in fear and left the room. All the others wanted to see what this strange man looked like, but now there was nothing to see. No face and no hair. Bandage and false hair were flying across the room, and all the people in it were running to get out of the front door of the pub. The man they all had waited to see what a man without a head. People on the road could hear the shouting when they looked up the road to the coach and horse. They were seeing people fall over each other trying to get out of the door. In a short time, 40 people or more were at the door trying to see what was going on. There were the people who were selling lollies, the entertained boys and girls, well-dressed men and women, old people and poor people. They all wanted to talk at the same time and no one was listening. A small group was helping Mrs. Hall, who had collapsed again. There was a noise from behind. The people moved to one side for three men who were walking confidently towards the pub. First was Hall, very red in the face, then Mr. Bubbly Jaffer, the town policeman, and then Vargas. They were coming to take the visitor to prison. Okay, children. Now I stop here. We continue in the mysterious 2 in the next class. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.